That's a big reason why I started doing art. It's not because it makes me so happy, it's because it makes me so miserable when I'm not doing it. Oh, you're doing what makes you happy, or you're like doing your passion. And I'm like, I don't know that it makes me happy, it just makes me feel normal. There's lots of things in life that make me feel happy, but when I'm doing art, it just makes me feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, you know?
This video is sponsored by Squarespace.
My name is Ethan Espinosa. I'm from Santa Clarita, California. I currently live in San Clemente. I'm an artist, that's my profession. I make marks on paper and hope that people will buy them because they look cool.
I love working out here because it feels like you're going to almost like a mansion where the community like lives and is all like, you feel like an Indian, like you're going to the main hut or something, because it's so, although those are big huts, like there's the whole community is there, and that's like what this is. It's like big, but it's also small when you consider like that all of Lifetime or like the rich people or the people that are like me pretending to be rich go here. I'm rich in other ways. I'll get that one in a sec.
I perform better as an artist when I've worked out because it gets all of the excess energy kind of out, calms me down. I've found that when I work at night, I'm like more calm and able to focus and stuff, but I can also experience that when I've worked out really hard during the day, because then it takes the edge off and I'm able to focus more. If I don't work out, I'm trying to distract myself with things like skateboarding or like not working, you know? And so it's pretty important for me to get a good workout in the morning or at some point during the day in order to be productive, like making art. September 2nd, I believe, 2021 is when I started working as an artist. The desire to do art full time came from a sense that it was the strongest sort of talent that I have naturally. And so I think my perception of like myself was that I was an artist. Like that's something that I was sort of designed to do. So when I'm making art, I feel like I'm doing what comes most naturally to me. So just gravitate towards it. When people ask, how did you make the decision to do art? Oh, you made that decision so much later in life. That must have taken a lot of courage. And I kind of felt like that ship had sailed, like for it to be a decision out of courage. It was more of a decision out of necessity. I had exhausted the other options and this is all that was left, you know? It's like, wow, you were really brave to walk through that door, and it's like, well, frankly, that was the only door that was open. I tried every other door. They were all locked, you know, to me.
When I was in elementary school, my brother and I would take the train from LA to San Clemente, and we would just like call our relatives or our friends and ask if we could stay at their house so that we could be here in San Clemente. And then when we finally moved here, I lived like 15 minutes away from like this location. But I would drive here every morning, like get coffee and then read. And then like for the last 3 years now I don't have to drive here. I just walk. Feels like a dream, honestly. Yeah, it feels like I don't deserve it, but I'm really grateful. Yeah.
myself, and I'm disappointed about the time that it's gonna take to clean that up, because that glass shattered in like 1,000 pieces. Like there's glass right here. Oh no. Oh my gosh, dude. I was wondering why this smelled so bad. Life is hard enough as it is, like without eating glass. Having the same breakfast and dinner every day for the last like 68 days or so. But energy level is the best part. Like I've just got a steady flow of energy all day. There isn't like lows and highs for the most part.
I was so heavy-hearted, and I was trying to like suppress that reality because I didn't think that art was really an option. That's a big reason why I started doing art. It's not because it makes me so happy, it's because it makes me so miserable when I'm not doing it. You know, people will be like, oh, you're doing what makes you happy, or you're like doing your passion. And I'm like, I don't know that it makes me happy, it just makes me feel normal. You know, there's lots of things in life that make me feel happy, but when I'm doing art, it just makes me feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, you know.
These 3 pieces mean a lot to me because they each represent like a different experience that I was having, which was turned out to be formative. For example, Virgil Abloh, I came across his Instagram, didn't know anything about him, and followed a link which was on his Instagram to SoundCloud, which is this radio station that he put together called Imaginary Radio. Actually, I'm gonna play it.
What up, world?
Here he is.
This is Virgil Abloh. You're now in tune to another episode of Imaginary Radio.
But I came across him right when I decided to start doing art for a living. Like I was living in Santa Clarita when I had made that decision, and then I asked my parents if I could move in with them for like 3 to 4 months and just live like rent free and try to make a living doing art and see if I could make any money. So they said yes. So it was at that time that like I came across Virgil's radio station and started listening to that whenever I would create. And I didn't recognize like the music that he was playing or any of that, so it just felt very fresh, like and creative.
As artists and creatives, it is more important than ever to find tools that enhance your workflow instead of pulling you away from what's important. Thankfully, Squarespace makes this possible. Here are a few of the reasons why. Showcase your work with beautifully designed templates that are fully customizable, helping you create a stunning portfolio that reflects your unique style. Easily set up an online store to sell your products or services. With tools like inventory management, secure checkout, and multiple payment options, running your store is seamless. Stay connected with your audience by creating and sending beautiful email campaigns directly from Squarespace. Track performance with analytics to see what's working and improve your outreach. Squarespace brings all these tools together, helping creatives like you efficiently run and grow your business. If you're ready to give it a shot, head to the link in the description to start your free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use coupon code SHMOOD to get 10% off your first purchase.
My biggest challenge as an artist is figuring out what art I want to make without people hiring me to make art. I have to have an income, so the things that I create need to be something that people will buy, and that needs to be part of my time. Because I think about what I drew as a child or like what I would make, and I wasn't making stuff to sell it. I was just making stuff out of my ideas. And I'd like to do a lot more of that. Part of it is like I can take time each day to just work on original pieces if it's just like a little bit of time. When I feel the pressure of like paying the bills and everything like that, I gotta stick with what's been working and not veer away from that too suddenly, which I think is wise in that I am making like original artwork here and there. It's just not at the volume that I would like to be doing that at.
Some of the stuff that I'm working on right now are these drawings for South Shores Church. They hired me to do 8 different drawings which demonstrate like the different aspects of the ministry. So we've got like preaching, baptism, communion, we've got worship, stuff like that. So almost done, have one more. This is an abstract piece that's gonna be featured in an art show, which I'm excited about. It's in a week and a half, as well as like this artwork that we have over here. So I like realism. I gravitate towards like charcoal drawings of people just because that's what I'm most familiar with. I actually really enjoy like experimenting with colors and different designs and stuff. So like here was a horse that I obviously drew up really fast, and it was just like fun. These are 4 like charcoal drawings that I'm doing right now. None of them are finished. Sometimes drawings that aren't finished or like in the beginning sketch stage are actually more compelling to me or interesting to look at than a drawing that's like fully rendered. For example, this drawing right here is of my buddy Jack with his friend Jack, and actually this looks a lot better than these ones up here, but still there's like, it's interesting, there's stages in the drawing process where you're like, oh, I really like how this looks, but it has such a long ways until it's finished, and you keep working on it and it's like, oh, it actually looked best like 5 hours ago despite all the work. So art can be kind of, I don't know, you know, less is more really reigns true with art.
I think while I was in high school, I was walking through the house and my mom was watching TV. She was watching a documentary about the artist Ai Weiwei. He was a Chinese immigrant. As he was describing the jobs that he was working, he mentioned that he drew people's portraits, would make some money doing that. That comment stuck with me, and I thought, maybe I could make money drawing people's portraits, and that's how I'll become a great artist like Ai Weiwei. That was the only idea I had, and it wasn't even my own idea. I just heard it from somebody else. I just grabbed my giant clipboard and I started walking up to people that were on the beach, because I was like, instead of waiting for them to walk up to me, like I should just go to them. So I would do that 6 to 7 days a week. Through all of those interactions, people started hiring me for other jobs like weddings, family drawings, sending me photos of their dogs that had passed away. It took like, I think 4 months to be making enough money where I was like able to pay rent and stuff, like pay all of my bills each month just doing art, but it only took a few months. Part of what motivated me to be drawing people's portraits so much though was the obsession of improving at drawing itself. So although I needed to make money because that's what I was doing for a living, there was like a deeper hunger for doing that, and it was to improve, or it has been to improve at just drawing, period. One of the days when I went down to the beach to draw people, I drew a gentleman. His daughter saw the drawing. She hired me to draw at her friend's wedding. At her friend's wedding, I drew a gentleman with his wife who hired me to make artwork for his company's like offices. While I was working on that drawing out in Costa Mesa, Pat Tenori, who had founded Ruka and now is like started this company Tenori, saw that drawing and he hired me to do artwork for Tenori for this UFC fighter who is one of their pro athletes named Peyton Talbot. So just from going to the beach, there's like this string of events that like led to all of these bigger jobs, but from the consistency of asking people if I could draw their portraits. A lot of people say, oh, I don't want to do art or this hobby that they have for a living, for money, because then it would take the joy away from it. I've never found that to be the case for myself. It actually makes it more fun for me. It's like, wait, so I get to draw and they're going to buy it? Yeah, I will draw a dolphin, you know, or I will draw like your grandma, you know? And so there's something very rewarding about being rewarded for your art. Like the joy that I get from art isn't so much of what I'm drawing as it is like that I'm drawing it well. So whether it's something like very sentimental, like somebody's daughter and them together, or it's maybe a little more cold, like a building in a parking lot. Like if I'm doing a good job, then I'm like happy in the process. If I'm experiencing some pain and like working through it, that's where the sweet spot is for me. I want to master the human body, really, and I want to get better at drawing stuff from my imagination, because the things that I'm most inspired to draw are like biblical stories where I could share about Jesus, tell stories that evoke emotion. In order to have that sort of confidence to produce that stuff, I would need more knowledge. I think I'm capable of doing it if I had like the right references or like got some people together to like pose for me. But the stuff I enjoy the most is when I'm like working from my mind a bit more, you know?
What's up, guys? Thanks for watching this episode. Hope you enjoyed getting a glimpse into my life. Subscribe if you want to see more episodes like this. Peace.
All right, so be sure to like and subscribe. Go ahead and hit that bell notification. And yeah.